Welcome back to my Mario Kart ranking series, and today we will be talking about Mario Kart Super Circuit, the game where it's kind of been forgotten until the Mario Kart Booster Course Pass brought back many tracks and make them infinitely better. Anyways, I think this game is underrated and has brought many unique tracks into it. But I do understand that compared to other games in the series, this one is probably the least innovative one, which is not a bad thing, but it doesn't make it a memorable game. First time they introduced retro tracks, which were then called extra tracks. In order to unlock, you had to get a gold cup and then collect 100 coins in order to unlock each cup. And honestly, most of these are downgrades compared to the original since they remove obstacles or add other problems to the track, and I find them very boring compared to the new tracks in the game. I'll show you my ranking, but I won't talk about any of the courses since I already talked in my first video about it. Here's my list. You can pause the video if you want, but I'm moving on. Let's get started with the ranking, starting with D tier, the tracks I don't like to play. I've got to go with what everybody is saying. Snowland is honestly my least favorite track in this game, unfortunately. Obviously, everyone talks about the annoying screen shake, which I agree, it hurts my eyes after a while. But the other big issue I have with this course is that the track is wide open and barely has any obstacles aside from the snowman and ponds. It's a shame since the layout and the music are not bad, it's just the other parts of it make it unenjoyable for me. Mario Circuit is just a lame circuit track from beginning to end. The background and layout is nothing special, and honestly with the name, this can be called by anyone and it would seem more fitting. I don't know, there's just nothing that sparks this track for me other than the item at the side you can get before the goal line. Anyway, that's all for the D tier. Now on to the C tier, which I find them okay enough. I've never been the biggest fan of Boo Lake, to be honest. The theme is fine, but the course has never stick out to me. The course name is Boo Lake, but it doesn't have an actual lake for some reason. It's pretty weird, not gonna lie. Has some sharp turns, but the track doesn't make it memorable. Oh well, at least Mario Kart Tour and 8 Deluxe got the glow up it deserved, and actually have an actual lake. The track is average though, not much else to say. It's Peach Circuit, woohoo! Peach Circuit is an acceptable starter track that does the bare minimum. The Peach Castle in the background is nice, and I like how the track is wider so that you can practice taking sharp turns. It overall has much more charm than Mario Circuit, but that's not really saying much. Also, for some reason, the peach trees don't even look like peaches for whatever the reason. I find that weird. Replaying Bowser Castle 1, this track has never been my favorite. It's pretty short and kind of forgettable. The jumps don't really help to make the track better, and that's all I gotta say. Thankfully, it's the only Bowser Castle in this game I'm not a fan of. Yoshi Desert is another one of those desert tracks, but it does have a really cool song. This one doesn't really do much to add to the desert genre, but I do like the Yoshi statue and the sinkholes. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing special about this course, though I do like to see it brought back to future Mario Kart game other than Tour. Now we're on to the B tier, which are tracks I do enjoy. Shy Guy Beach is a nice beach track, but not one that I'd want to play often. The background is nice along with the calming music, but the crabs don't do much to make it difficult. They're pretty easy to dodge for me, and the track left me wanting more things on the track. Still a good course though. Bowser Castle 2 is definitely an improvement over the original, providing more turns, and there's some ramps where it's not enough to get over the lava, which I find that interesting. There's some boost panels on the side and many ways you can go, making the track fun enough to drive on. Broken Pier is a tough course to rank on the list. On the one hand, I appreciate the complex layout and the number of shortcuts you can take. Specifically, I really like to take the narrow bridge at the middle of the track, but also it leaves me kind of underwhelmed. I don't know, some of the turns felt awkward and there's a boost panel towards the end, and I don't know who would ever want to take that since that leads straight to your death. Overall, I still like the track, it's just some things could be better. Luigi Circuit is easily the best circuit track in this game, and it doesn't come close. This course just has a lot more charm than the other two. The Luigi Balloon and the rain effect makes this course a standout, but I also like the track layout and just found the turns to be satisfying, and the puddles make good obstacles. This course may be not my favorite, but at least it's a good circuit track. I wasn't a fan of Riverside Park the first time I played this for some reason, but after playing it multiple times, I had a lot more fun. The jungle theme I think is very good, but there's multiple U-turns and jumps make the course feel exciting and adventurous, and I definitely like the big jump at the end. Lakeside Park to me is a bit better, though I will say I don't love this course as much as before. Though I gotta say, I really love the lava rocks falling, and the music is a banger, but there's a big problem with the course, and that's the jump pads at the side that make you go over the barrier, leaving you further back, which if I'm being honest, I'm not a fan of that. I get it's trying to add challenge, but it kinda leaves people frustrated. This only happened to me a couple of times, so it's not much of a big deal, but it does hold it back from being higher on the list. Bowser Castle 3 is a satisfying track, and it was a good choice to bring back for Mario Kart Wii. Compared to other Bowser Castles, this one takes place outside of the castle, which is neat, and I like how the jumping section goes through a diagonal way, which adds difficulty dodging those fire thingies that try and hit you. The thwomps are placed pretty well for you to dodge. Lastly, I like the touch that they added a Magic Koopa right before the ending. Cheep Cheep Island is a track that I don't hear anyone talk about, but honestly, it's a really fun beach course. First off, I really love the sunset in the background. Super Circuit in general has really pretty tracks, and this is one of them. It has crabs and seagulls, which is well placed. I like the different paths you can go, whether it's the faster route or you go and get the item box, and the somewhat narrow bridge and tight turns makes it a standout. I enjoy this track a lot. I really like the aesthetic in Cheeseland. It gives an overall unique feeling compared to other tracks, unlike the remake they did in Mario Kart 8, which kinda misses that. I'll get to that eventually, but yeah, it has a really fun layout, and I love the mice walking around. Alright, we're finally moving on to the A tier, which are great tracks that I will play over and over. This Rainbow Road is not among the community's favorite Rainbow Roads in the entire series, and I get that. The layout is not that memorable, and the music is quite different compared to other ones, but honestly, I find this track to be really underrated. The jump pads on the side are really unique, able to make big shortcuts which are really broken in speedruns. Jumping up so high in the narrow boost section is so much fun to me, even if I fail that section often. Oh yeah, and there's Bowser's starship in the background, which I find that cool. The only minor criticism I would give is some awkward turns, and that's about it. I love the newer Mario Kart games, but sometimes I miss the long, complicated layouts of the older tracks, and Bowser Castle 4 is one of them. This takes place in a power plant, and the track is just a lot of fun to go through. You've got Mecha Koopas, which you don't see them often as obstacles. There's many branching paths you can go. It's basically everything I want from a flat Bowser Castle course. If I were to nitpick this track, and it's that the track probably lasts a bit too long, but honestly, who cares since there's always something interesting to go through. I've heard for a long time that many people love Sunset Wilds, and then I played it and they were right. I really love the Wild West theme in this track, and it's so fun driving through the mud, and if you run into a Shy Guy tent, they will latch onto you, slowing down and suck up your coins, which that is wild. I'm sorry, that was very bad. I find it funny that the North American version of this track censored the original imagery of this track, where the Shy Guy represents the Native Americans, possibly but it was probably for the best. But honestly, the best feature of this course is the setting sun that progressively gets darker by each lap, which looks beautiful, and I love when Nintendo comes up with something like this. I sure hope the Booster Course Pass doesn't take that feature that people loved. Oh. I absolutely love the remake of Ribbon Road in Mario Kart 8, but honestly, I love the original version of this track as well. It has a very lively feeling that puts me into good mood, and the presents in the background make it better. Is the track layout good as well? Yes, it is very fun to drive through, providing lots of boost panels. The obstacles were necessary in this course because it's already fun as it is. Just a really solid track from beginning to end. There is one course that I think is even better than Ribbon Road, and it happens to be the only S tier, which I think are the best tracks of all time. And that is... Sky Garden is the best track in the game and it doesn't even come close. The layout of this track is just perfect for a flat GBA track, providing lots of turns, shortcut opportunities, and jump ramps you could go on that makes it complex, but not in a way that's too difficult. It's basically what every flat track should have been to me. And oh yeah, the theme is so good as well. It's legit one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks in these series. I played the DS version multiple times as a kid and I knew what I was getting into, and that's why it comes in at number 1. Oh, I can't wait to play the 8 Deluxe version. Oh. Yeah, I've got a lot to say about the ones I dislike. So yeah, that concludes my ranking. This game may not seem good compared to the rest of the series, but in all honesty, this game offers a lot of great tracks and not served as just a sequel to Super Mario Kart. I think it's worth trying out in my opinion. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and the next one I will be doing is Double Dash, which I'm really looking forward to.